Blasko.
Joy to the world. Hi, buddy.
How are you?
Wonderful. Freezing my butt off.
Yeah.
It's winter. I believe this is second winter, right? There's almost winter, winter, second winter, almost winter again in Youngstown.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go back to something.
Yeah.
The great ketchup debate of 2024.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you read the comments. 98% of the people are on my side. Did you see that?
Listen, there's a lot of issues that a majority of the people are wrong on, and this is one of them.
You're going to stand by that?
I am.
I mean, the people have spoken. Numerous people
Since
comment.
then, I have
After
left
opening
ketchup.
refrigerator.
I have left ketchup on my island.
By a heater?
No, just sitting on the island, and I'm going to see how long it is before I die of salmonella.
It's going to be like a Big Mac. You know those tests they do where they leave a Big Mac on a counter for a year and they go back and it's still edible. All right.
Well,
so,
I was working with a nutritionist a couple years ago, and they told me to pay attention to stuff that lasts longer than it should, right? So let's just say you go to the grocery store and buy some cheese.
Okay.
Right? Now, that cheese should really only keep for less than a week.
Okay.
If you've got cheese in your refrigerator that's about a month old and there's no signs of molding, chances are they've plopped it full of chemicals that allow
a lot of preservatives and all that.
A lot of preservatives. And so that's the kind of stuff, like if you're, here's where I'll concede.
Okay.
If you can create ketchup that goes bad because it has a lack of preservatives, I'll put it in the refrigerator.
Okay. Okay. All right. So if it were more fresh, I would say. Like
Fresh,
if it was
yeah.
Okay.
The Amish-made ketchup is
Okay, then it would
fresh.
go bad
It would
probably
probably
quicker.
go bad because it's a food item.
How about flavored ketchup? Do you remember when they came out?
I do. That
I don't even know if it was flavored or just the color was different. It was like grape, purple, blue.
I don't remember what they did to it, but it was.
Do you remember
gross
that?
Looking.
I think they just colorized it, if you will.
We tinker with like traditional things and try to like sexy them up a little bit.
We F them up.
Flops. It always
right.
flops.
It's ridiculous. In fact, it makes me think of the episode I just watched with you and Kellen. I was laughing my butt off. She actually spoke for a long time, and you just sat there listening.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It was the Elf on the Shelf episode.
Oh, yeah.
She was going on. Okay, so, I mean, there are traditions. There are things that people do with regards to Elf on the Shelf and Santa and all that jazz. I heard your response, which I knew you would give. Very logical. If the kid asks, tell. But if they don't ask, are you still telling? That was the question I had for you. So if little Joey or little Sally doesn't ask and they go along with the magic and the theme, are you going to jump in and not, I don't want to say ruin it for them or realize it, if you will, or are you going to wait till they ask you?
I'd probably not push on it.
Okay.
I wouldn't lie.
Right.
And I wouldn't allow untruths. I would reinforce what it is. Like, this is the giving, the spirit of giving, and we take care of other people, and we look out for other people.
Yeah, but if they don't ask, you're still just going to, okay, yeah.
Wouldn't be
I mean, you're not that big of a Scrooge.
No. I am a pretty big Scrooge, though.
Yeah, but that would be, like, really crushing. Like, you're not just going to wake up on, like, today's the day I tell them there's no Santa. You're not going to do that.
Yeah,
but,
didn't have that day.
Okay.
Natural curiosity took
over. Same with my kids. Yeah, same thing. Pet peeves. We talk about them a lot.
Yeah.
I got a new one.
Okay, give it to me. I want to be pissed off, too, so I will vicariously.
It's not on Facebook. I do not like, and I give to a lot of charities. I have my few that I really push. Dorothy Day House, one of them. It's on Belmont. It's a great cause. It's a women's shelter. If you're ever looking to donate to the Dorothy Day House, Belmont Avenue. I love them. My mom, a lot of years ago, before she passed away, used to go there and help and do numerous things. So I kind of took that under my belt as one of the charities I like to give to, and there are a few others. Here's the pet peeve. When an unsolicited charity sends me a envelope and there is money glued inside, like little change. Like I just got one yesterday. I came home from my trip, and sure enough, I open up this envelope, and there's 4 nickels, like with that rubber glue. And then I didn't even read it. But I don't throw it away because I feel like that's wasting money. So I rip off the nickels and I throw them into a drawer, the junk drawer thing. And I probably have, $40 in that junk drawer from all the times someone sent. Remember March of Dimes?
Oh, yeah.
They sent a little dime. I think just take that money and put it towards something else. Because if you're mailing me 20 cents and you're mailing this guy 20 cents and this person 20 cents, it just adds up. That's a pet peeve of mine.
All right,
I don't like the money being mailed. You could ask me for money, but don't mail me money.
So there's a line, right?
Okay.
There is marketing, and then there's manipulation. And we're okay with marketing if it appeals to selling them something that we're trying to fill a need, right?
Okay.
So, but if you don't need the thing, then you kind of get into the gray area trying to get you to buy something that you don't even
necessarily want.
And now it kind of is manipulation. So there's probably a focus group that said, if I give you money, you feel obligated to give me money. And so that's manipulation. And I think that's super dirty.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's a pet peeve of mine. So all you charities out there, taping or gluing money to your envelopes, don't do it. Just if you ask me for it, if I want to do it, I will. But
and once
I'm not going to do it more because you send me money.
One charity does it, because charities work really hard for their funding. They really have to beg, and they really have to do a lot to get their funding. But once one charity does it and they're successful doing it, it's hard for another charity that would do good with the money to say, sacrifice a little of their integrity and say, well, we're going to do a little manipulation too because it freaking works.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
Own it.
That's right. I would have more respect for you, even if you made less revenue. But you made that part of your marketing is, hey, we're not going to use tactics that make you feel dirty.
The word we're looking for, integrity.
Integrity.
Right. Do you have any charities that you dig or give to, or you don't have to name them personally?
I oscillate, and sometimes
like a fan? Like a fan?
Exactly. But I feel like charity really does something to you, and when you depersonalize your charitable giving, like I would rather help a person individually that I could talk to and feel good about than offloading money and
send $50 to the rescue mission. Where's it really going? Is
really,
it paying the bills that month? Is it paying a gas bill, an electric bill?
Yeah, because I think it's super important to kind of engage that part of your brain that really makes a sacrifice for another human without the knowing what it actually did kind of a thing.
That is admirable. I agree. You could kind of not see the finished product, but see it in action, if you will.
Exactly
What do you feel about, and I get sucked into it, I watch it, the YouTubers out there who do that big thing where they'll go over and, I don't know, let's say give a guy, a homeless person $100. And then maybe as they're walking away, they'll drop their wallet. And then they'll keep walking, and then they'll go, and then there's a crew over here filming, and they'll watch what the homeless person then does. So does the person grab the wallet and take it, or does the person grab the wallet and run after the person? And if the homeless person grabs the wallet and runs after the person who gave him the $100 and gives it back, then the guy turns around and gives him like $1,000 for doing the right thing. So I watched those, because they pop up here and there. But then someone else said, which made a good point, if you're going to give, just give. Don't record it. Don't video. Don't do it for any other reason. So I'm kind of like torn. I know why they do it, because they want to show us that there are good people in this world, even when they're down on their luck, who will do the right thing. But at the same time, is it self-fulfilling on their end? So how do you feel about
I got another gradient answer on this.
Okay.
So if you do a thing to inspire other people to maybe
be better,
for sure, 100%.
Okay.
Now, if it's exploitative, where you're doing it just for the clicks and whatever, and it doesn't open anything in you, there was I think it was Dave Ramsey.
Dave. He's been at a couple conferences I've been at speaking.
So his angle is
he's the money guy, right?
Yeah. His angle is that there's sometimes what inspires you to do something. So, for instance, if you give to a charity because you get the tax break, did you do it because it was a charity? Did you do it for the tax break?
Okay.
So sometimes what he'll do is he'll test himself to see if he would still give it and not claim the tax break. And if he still feels motivated to do the charitable giving, regardless if there's a benefit in it, then he knows his intentions were pure. So that's more of like an introspective thing to know, like, okay, like would you be super willing to give someone $1,000 if the camera wasn't running? Now you shouldn't be in that business if you wouldn't do
right. If you're just doing it for the
exactly.
Look at me. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. I told you my story about the homeless guy in Nashville who was trying to dictate the amount of money I was going to give him. Did I tell you about this?
No, I don't think so.
So this was, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. I'm in downtown Nashville. I'm doing a gig. I go to a Starbucks over here. I come out. There's a homeless guy. Hey, you got a few bucks? But that wasn't the question. He goes, very specific, walks up and says, do you have $30? I go, that's an odd amount. You know me. I start talking to him, riffing back and forth. I go, why $30? He goes, well, there's a homeless shelter over there, and they charge $30 a night. I go, well, shouldn't it be free? You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm thinking if it's really a rescue mission. He's like, no, they charge 30. I need 30. I go, well, I'm not going to give you 30. I said, I can give you, and then before I even finished my sentence, he goes, well, how about 20? And then I was about, and he goes, okay, how? And I said, listen, you cannot dictate how much you want me to give you. If you're asking for a donation from me, let me decide. I go, every time you say something, I'm going to drop the price. And then he said something else. So I ended up giving him $2 at the end. I go, listen, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your thing. You do it. Maybe someone else will give you $30. God bless you. But I just thought it was strange that he was trying to dictate how much I was going to give him. Because if you're asking for something, then I think anything you get, you should be grateful. But I thought it was funny.
I'd drop it to 0 in 1 second.
I knew you
You're
would.
a softie.
I am
now,
a softie.
There's a group that up here at Giant Eagle that they will go into Walmart and they'll buy a gas can. And all they'll do is go around the parking lot of Giant Eagle and say, I'm out of gas. Can you spare $5? And they do that all day long.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
It's shady. Here's another homeless story. And this actually opened my eyes with regards to what we think we know about people and what we don't. So I was in New York. I think I was in Brooklyn. I had time in between one of my speeches, so I walked down to just a pizza place. They're all over the place on the corner. And I get 2 slices of pizza. Did I tell you this story?
Yeah.
So I get 2 slices of pizza, and it was a chilly day. It wasn't winter. It wasn't summer. Maybe fall. It was a little brisk. So I'm walking back from the pizza area, and it's probably, 5-6 blocks till I have to get to my building that I was in. And I passed this homeless area, and you can tell because everyone's camped out, and there's sleeping bags, and there's just shit everywhere. And I see this lady, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to give her this pizza. I'm just going to give it to her. So I walk by, and she looks at me, and I look at her. I go, here. And she says, are you ready for this? And very nice, very polite. No, thank you.
Really?
And I was like, it just changed my whole perspective. Here's me thinking she needs it. Again, how do I not, seeing the circumstances? But I guess we shouldn't assume. I couldn't believe, Joe. I go, really? I go, it's just plain. It was just plain cheese. There was no pepperoni, no nothing. And she goes, no, I'm good, thank you. And she was polite. And then I thought, holy shit. She didn't want it. Then I thought, well, you probably should have took it and just give it to someone else. But that was my thought. So I walked away. And it changed my thought process on, obviously they need help. They're down on their luck. They're living on the street. You could see the sleeping bag. You could see the shopping shit. I don't know. That was weird. You ever have that happen to you?
No,
I was blown away. It kind of humbled me, maybe. I don't know. It was good. Shout out to my baristas, Starbucks, Cynthia, Shanice, Sarah, Lucia. There's a lot of them. Emma, Rachel, Elise, Bree. I got 2 different Starbucks. Lila. Let me think. Who else? Annie. I have 2 Starbucks that I frequent.
Brian, I think you have a problem.
Dude, I have a problem. And I walk in, and my kids go now and order, and they'll start saying my drink, and they're like, is this for your dad? So they make it. It's ridiculous. But I was at the Target Starbucks this morning, and I said, I'm going to give you guys a shout out. So shout out to my Starbucks baristas.
We're going to have an intervention. If we get through this year, are you going to make a commitment that you need to do less of that or more?
I do spend a lot of money on it. I do. But I could spend money on that. I could spend money on crack. I think that's better than... Right?
Well, there's some in-betweens there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You don't have to go right.
Okay.
So I was doing the same thing. I was going to Dunkin' every freaking morning.
Okay.
And so what I did was I was like, how much am I spending? And I added it up all year long. And I was like, I'm just going to buy a top-end espresso machine. And I'm just going to make the stuff at home so I can have it first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And I bought a $1,200 espresso machine. And that thing lasted every bit of probably 8 years. And so when you divide it out, I cut my consumption costs way down. And my coffee was superior.
I don't know why. There's something about getting coffee out versus making it at home.
Well, you're that extrovert who it's more about the interactions than the
I
coffee.
mingle, I
the
talk.
Coffee's the excuse
right.
to get to the people.
I'm there.
I know you.
I'm chit-chatting.
But I can stay in my house and I don't have to see people and I can get my coffee. Win.
That is perfect for you. All right, so the holidays are coming up. Any big plans?
Nothing. No, it's gonna be low key again. Working hard, head down, grinding.
Did you decorate?
No, I just had a.
Did your wife decorate? Did someone decorate?
I said, Ryan, you see all these people that have their houses decorated. Are you ever disappointed that we put no effort into it? We still have a pumpkin on the front porch that is now the Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas pumpkin.
Right.
And he was like, as long as we put up a tree, I'll be okay. And I was like, cool, off the hook.
I like that. Did the tree go up then?
The tree did not go up yet.
When does that? Don't wait till the 24th.
It'll be close. It'll maybe this weekend.
Live tree?
Dead.
Yeah, we talked about that. I'm all for that. I don't like the pine needles and stuff. But if it were a live tree, I would get it maybe towards more Christmas time because they die quick. But if you're putting up the artificial tree, put it up this weekend. Do that. Not for you, but for him.
I will make the commitment.
He was gracious enough to say, just a tree, Dad. So
and he let me off the hook. Now I have no guilt going on.
Because it's the 4th, 5th. What's today? The 5th. So I mean, it's like 20 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
So. And then I want you to go buy an elf, and I want you to put that shit on the shelf.
There's not going to be a shelf or an elf.
I'm going to create something called Joe on the dough. And I'm going to get a piece of dough, like pizza dough, and put a picture of you on it. And then we're going to do Brian on Orion, like Orion's belt. We're going to do a constellation.
You're going to start a new trend and sell billions.
I want him to be in everyone's house. Joe on the dough, Brian on Orion. Trying to think what rhymes with Uranus. I can't think. Okay, what do you feel about fruitcake? Speaking of the holidays,
I
think you're someone who would eat it. No,
I mean,
there's a lot of shit in there.
Yeah,
but
I've tried it. Maybe it's not mine.
They still sell it though. It's ridiculous. They sell it in loaves, and
I know.
And I don't. There's berries in there.
But if they tried to get that started today, it would never go. It's only because it's got 100 years of history.
It's got that.
It's in there. You buy. Yeah, there's certain candies that people still buy that suck.
Let's talk about those. Oh, I love the Swedish fish. I have them on my counter.
Candy ever.
All the time, 365 all day. So when my kids were young, I thought I'm gonna put stuff out always, so it's there. And they're so used to seeing it that they don't gorge on it. And that's exactly what happened. I have chocolate over here in this canister. I have Swedish fish over here in this canister. So when their friends come over, they gorge because they don't see it all the time. But my kids are so acclimated to it that I think it worked out well. It's like it's been in their face the whole time. So now once in a while they'll have it, but they won't pig out on it. And I know their friends will come over and pig out on it because they have been. But Swedish fish, remember when they were a penny? Like literally a penny? You go buy 100 of them, you get 100.
That was a big part of your childhood, walking to the candy store with a dime and buying a whole handful of whatever you wanted.
Curry's was my candy store. It was called Curry's. It was on Midlothian because I grew up in Brownlee Woods. And Gray's Drug. You remember Gray's Drugs?
I do.
Yeah, so Gray's Drugs was in a little plaza on Youngstown Poland Road. Those were, me and my best friend Murph Bear would go there. Actually, we would shovel a driveway in the wintertime. How about that? Let's talk about that. Remember kids used to go out and shovel driveways? Now they snow blow, which is fine. But me and my buddy Murph would go shovel one driveway, get maybe $10, $5 a piece, and we'd go right to Hardee's up the street on Youngstown Poland Road because he lived off Irma and Medford, and we would go and buy a couple hamburgers and cheeseburgers, and that's just a great childhood memory. It was living. Did you shovel driveways?
Oh, yeah. But I was industrious. I did everything. Bike shops and leaf raking and anything that people would pay me for, I did.
Did you pull other people in and have them do the work?
No, I wanted all the money myself.
Okay, so
I didn't trust people. And,
like if you brought a couple buddies, you're like, they're going to screw this up.
That's it. Not going to do as good a job, not going to work as hard, and they're going to take half the money. Screw that.
Okay. Do you snow ski?
Snow ski?
Yeah, I'm just curious because I saw some snow. You try?
I try.
Yeah,
I've
it's
gone
fun.
A bunch of times.
It's fun.
My wife and son go off to the actual hills. And
you stay on the bunny hill.
I struggle on the
Nothing wrong with
tester
that.
hill.
Hit a couple hills, then go to the lodge. Have a cocktail, relax, fireplace.
I ran it for a little bit, and I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to go chill in there.
I'm a grown adult. I don't need to fall on my ass every 2 seconds.
Yep. I used to cross-country ski, and I can handle that because it's all about leg power.
That's cool. And the heel comes up on that, right?
Yeah.
Is it more because it's a walking motion, or is it... Okay. So do you still do that? Like, do you have cross-country skis?
No, not anymore. As a kid.
As a kid, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Santa brings them. Maybe the elf on the shelf will bring them.
I want to break this to you, but I want to do it easily.
Okay.
There is no Santa Claus.
That is ridiculous. Who the hell brings my presents then?
You do.
Shit.
Check your credit card statements. That's all.
Have you traveled lately?
No, I haven't done anything.
Pittsburgh Airport is ridiculous. I don't know why. So I have clear access, thank goodness, which is scanning of the eyeballs now. So there's TSA pre-approved, and there's another step called clear. So I pay for it. It's worth every penny. It's only a couple $100 a year, but it's you bypass TSA, you go right to the clear, someone's there, they scan your eyeballs, and I'm in. Literally 3 minutes, boom. The last couple trips I took, Pittsburgh Airport, are you familiar with it, obviously? Oh, yeah. You know how they have the people movers going into the thing? So you know where the Hyatt Hotel entrance is off the people mover? 3 deep. I mean, 3 people movers deep of people, and I could see them crying because they know they're going to miss their flight. I'm talking hours of waiting just that far back, and I just walk right up and go through clear. I like that not as many people have clear because I still have because I think, why don't you people do this? And I think, no, don't do it, because if you start doing it, then this line's going to be as big. But they have at Pittsburgh, and I'm going to probably say 80% of the time I've traveled recently in the last couple months, they have this new thing where even if I'm in the clear line, so the normal line comes here, TSA line comes here, clear line comes here. And there's a dude who's very mean, and he stands there and goes, okay, next 2. And he makes you walk up, stand next to the person. He goes, don't move till I tell you. There's a guy over here walking a dog back and forth. Like, I don't know if it's a drug dog or what. And the dog walks, and he goes, okay, look forward, walk now. And it's like very like military-ish. And it's weird. It feels like uncomfortable. I feel like I'm in a different country, if you will. And then sometimes I'll go and that dog won't be there. But 80% of the time, there's a dude walking the dog back and forth. So anyone who's traveling out of Pittsburgh, get your butt there. You're early. I mean, early. I was never a believer in that 2-hour early thing. I'm still not because of the clear access. But yeah, travel's a pain in the ass. I was in New York this week. And I was in Columbus all day yesterday, which was very nice. I had a good gig. It was fun. I'm off the rest of the week. I have to go to Nemacolin next week. You ever been to Nemacolin up there in PA? It's kind of like a resort like Ogle Bay. You've heard of Ogle Bay? Yeah. Is it Ogle B? Ogle Bay? One of those. It's like that. I'm doing a couple-day conference up there for a client, so that'll be nice. And then I go back to New York the following week, and then I'm off for a couple weeks for Christmas. So
yeah. Do you notice like TSA and the DMV, if a business doesn't have to be nice to you, they don't. Dude. They don't.
Ridiculous. These people are, and once in a while I'll find a TSA agent or a gate agent who's just, but most of them are like,
yeah.
And I'm like, because you have that clear access or TSA, you don't have to take your shoes off or your laptop out of the bag or anything.
Right.
But some airports, my stupid belt will set it off, and other airports it doesn't. So it's like a crapshoot. So usually I just go for it. And 50% of the time, it beeps. And then they look at me like I'm a moron. I go, guys, I'm supposed to be walking through with nothing. Like, I should be okay. And then I have to take the belt off and stick it on. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, but they're not as nice as they could be. I don't know. Maybe they had a hard life. Who knows? You know me, trying to see the the good in people.
And I'll just shake my head and yep, that's people.
People, ridiculous. All right, that's it. I'm tapped out.
All right, here's mine. Alien invasion from yesterday did not happen.
Wait, I saw your post.
Yeah.
School me on it. I didn't realize it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. So 1997, there was a artificial intelligence that did predictions.
Okay.
And they made a whole lot of forward-looking things, who was going to be president, stock picks, things that were going to happen.
This was 1997. This was AI back then?
It was a computer program.
Wasn't the Mayans, right? Wasn't the Mayans. Wasn't Nostradamus. Okay.
It was mostly like presidential picks where it got the most right. So it collected data that it had available, just like AI does today, and it made predictions about what was going to happen. Well, it said that there was going to be an alien invasion.
December 4th. Gave a specific date and everything?
December 4th, 2024.
Okay.
So now, I don't trust the government, so maybe the invasion happened and they're,
covering it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it could be. So keep an eye out for things that just don't seem right, because the aliens might be here now.
You might be an alien.
Joe, cover blown.
Listen, I've gone to bed many a nights thinking, is my buddy Joe an alien?
How would you know though? What if
you'd have to just pull off your face real quick and show me something.
What if another planet that was Earth-like, where the beings look just like us,
doppelgangers,
and they came here and they jumped in,
and
they're just going about their day and being
maybe they're friendly. Why do they have to invade and it be bad?
That's right.
But I always think with regards to alien invasion, and again, I do believe in life forms somewhere else. We're this big. of a speck in the universe, right? So how can there not be something, whatever
Exactly.
it is? But I feel like if they really wanted to kick our ass, they would have done it by now. Right? I mean, I don't think they're waiting until like a certain day. I think they're just checking us out, maybe living amongst us. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to be some.
Well, we do a lot of projection, so we want them to be the same size as us. What if aliens are just microbes that came in a really mini rocket ship and came here, and they're here now, but we don't really interact with them because they're smaller than us? It could be that too.
It could be that. It could be maybe they're Cabbage Patch dolls. Maybe the Cabbage Patch dolls came in alien form. I don't know. It just popped into my head because I saw something online the other day about 1984 and parents. Maybe it wasn't 84, 80 something, with parents going ape shit. Maybe it was the 90s over the Cabbage Patch. I don't know if you remember that. Like,
I do.
Almost like the Tickle Me Elmo when the stores would open and people would trample each other. Like that's how Black Friday used to be.
They were buying shit out of people's trunks. Like, I got this Cabbage
right,
Patch
and people were fighting, and I'm sure there were a few deaths over Cabbage Patch dolls and Elmo and trying to get that right present for your kid. Holiday classic movies. Wait, go back to the alien thing. Are we good? Are we done?
I still got, there a bunch of stuff because of the prediction got national attention. There were a bunch of fake videos that posted trying to trick people into thinking they were here. So somebody popped out the drone, got some good footage of it, and claimed that here they are, whatever. So, but that might be the government just trying to fabricate the story.
Look over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, this is going on over here. Like a magician.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
So we might be amongst them, or they might be amongst us now.
Listen, if they're friendly, I don't care. Come on in.
That's right.
Right? Holiday movies, classics. I have 3 I watch every year.
Do it.
It's a Wonderful Life, black and white version. Love it. Okay. It's George Bailey. He's the best. My favorite character is Clarence, the little angel. Every time a bell rings, every time bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
It drives me crazy about how they talk. They're so performative that they're always talking like this.
Like they're actors on stage.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
that drives me nuts.
They did. So George Bailey, Clarence, those are 2 characters. So I love that. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a heartwarming story. I like it. That black and white where you know that about.
Oh, yeah.
No, wait, what did I just say?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, I said that twice. No. Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay.
So It's a Wonderful Life is one.
Okay.
Miracle on 34th Street.
All right.
The black and white version, Macy's versus... Who is it?
I don't know.
Oh, my God, it's such a good story. So they hire this old guy to be Santa Claus, but he really is Santa Claus, and he comes in the Macy's department store. I can't think of the other... I have to find this out. The other department store... You've never seen Miracle on 34th Street? Watch it. It's heartwarming.
What if I don't want my heart to be warmed?
Too bad. What am I asking this thing?
What's the other department store in
Department stores in Miracle on 34th? Gimbals. Gimbals. So there's Gimbals department store and Macy's. So Macy's hires this Santa Claus. And again, it's the same kind of acting. It's 1930 or it's 19 whatever. I don't know. And the Santa Claus is the real Santa Claus. And he starts telling people that the toy they want is not here, but you can find it at Gimbals. So someone overhears him saying that, and they're like, you can't do that. This is Macy's. You're sending people to Gimbals? And then all of a sudden, people start getting into the holiday spirit, and they start appreciating the fact that this Santa Claus is kind of, So the owner of Macy's calls him in, and, they want to fire, like these people want to fire him, but the owner of Macy's goes, this is the greatest marketing thing we've ever had, because he starts getting thousands of phone calls from Macy's customers saying, wow, I can't believe a department store like Macy's would send me to Gimbals. You have a Macy's customer for life. The fact that you would actually send me somewhere else or to a different store. So the whole story is about how he, changes the whole concept of Macy's versus Gimbal, and they become kind of friends. And then there's a whole other backstory where there's this lady who's in charge of the Macy Day Parade, and her daughter doesn't believe, who, by the way, is Natalie Wood. The little girl's Natalie Wood. Doesn't believe in Santa, but then this guy over here comes in the picture, and it's good. So Miracle on 34th, It's a Wonderful Life, and A Christmas Carol, George C. Scott, 1984. George C. Scott is the best Ebenezer Scrooge ever. I'll argue that with anyone. And it's the 1984 version. It's my favorite. Those are my 3 go-tos that I watch, usually by myself in front of the fire, reminiscing.
All right, let me give you ones that you might have forgotten.
Okay.
Elf.
Watch it every year. Love it. Love it.
Part of that group, Not quite there as
What?
your other three favorites?
Oh, no, I was talking classics.
Oh, classics.
Yeah, classics. I'm talking wonderful, those old school classics like Gone with the Wind. Classic.
Gotcha.
So
Classic
go-to, for sure, Elf,
Yes.
Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Love Cousin Eddie. Fred Claus. Have you ever seen Fred Claus?
have.
Vince Vaughn, Paul
awesome.
Giamatti plays Santa Claus, and he's his brother. If you've never seen it, it's wonderful.
A Christmas Story?
A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out. Trying to think what else. I do like, call me crazy, Rudolph. I still like the cartoon Rudolph and the Frosty Rudolph.
Yeah.
I love those. There's one called 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. My buddy Murph, who I talked about earlier, we used to watch it all the time. It's about a clockmaker, Mr. I forget his name, and little mice who live in his house, and the one kid, little mice, screws up the guy's clock. I forget. It's weird.
What about Die Hard?
It has this whole thing. So I've watched Die Hard. I don't watch it during Christmas. Not that I dispute it being a Christmas movie, because I know people say it is a Christmas movie. Thoughts on that?
I don't care.
Okay, yeah, me neither. Yeah, it's just a cool action movie. You can call it Christmas. You can call it not.
Home Alone?
Oh, yeah, all two. They came out with the third one. Forget that. It wasn't Macaulay Culkin. It was who knows. And it wasn't Joe Pesci and what's his name as the burglars. So Home Alone 1, love it. Home Alone 2, just as good. Lost in New York. Remember that one? Because everyone's back. The whole family's back. The same kids back, and the same burglars are back. So those are classics. I always watched The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, the original one. Then they came out with the second one, which I thought was good, and the third one, because the third one has Martin Short as Jack Frost. You ever see that one?
I did.
Yeah, I love that. So I love the Santa Clauses. I love the Grinch too. I love the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yes.
That dude, I heard he was a little jacked up after that. Like, he was so into character during that time of filming that, I mean, he wasn't jacked up, but he was like altered a little bit.
He
because
gets
he put
into it,
himself
man.
into that character. And
Absolutely.
what a character.
Such a good actor.
Him, wonderful. Everyone, wonderful. The little girl, wonderful. Yeah, so that's a big time classic. Well, not a classic. That is a big time holiday Christmas movie that I will watch. I don't put that in the classics.
Okay.
Classics, there are 3 of them, in my opinion. What else? Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We're good.
Peace.